needed that. That helps. Yeah. I was nervous, but now I'm not nervous. Cool. So, the last session before we all get to go party. I love being in this position. It's great. So I want to spend some time talking about the features that we've delivered. It's been a pretty busy year for us. There's a lot of exciting stuff. Each year I get to come up here and basically say sort of the same message, but this year I mean it more than ever, where like we've delivered a lot of really amazing stuff, and there's a couple surprises that we're going to throw in here as well. So I'm going to grab the remote so I can change slides now. There we go. So let's take a look back at the Cloud IT Summit that took place in 2015. At this point, this was the event that we had everybody, a lot of people that were here were at it. We actually unveiled the idea of the new BetterCloud platform. And we got a lot of really interesting feedback at that point. Everyone was like, yeah, this is a really great idea. This is a problem that exists, but we don't think you guys can actually pull this off. And that was good feedback for us to hear. This is an actual example of some of those wireframes that we actually showed. This is all we had. We hadn't written any code yet. All we had was some great ideas and these mocks, and we went to all these people and said, what do you guys think about this? And everybody said that. They're like, you're crazy. You're not going to be able to do this. You can't integrate with all these different non-standard APIs and put it all into one platform. So again, that was good feedback for us. We left that and said, you know what? We've identified there's a real problem to solve here. So we're still going to try and go solve this problem. So let's look at how far we've come. So looking back at that Cloud IT Summit 2015, again, we had nothing but wireframes and lots of hope and prayers and other things. Looking into 2016, we actually didn't have another altitude at that point because we wanted to let this vision materialize a little bit more. It was a lot of stuff to keep building, but we did get workflows to GA. We released around 25 actions that you could automate across your SaaS across Google at that point. And then coming to 2017, last year's altitude, we made it to 100 actions and 75 alerts, made a ton of progress there. And now let's look at where we are today in 2018. So we now have over 200 actions and thousands of custom alert combinations. There's 10 connectors in the BetterCloud platform. We run 4,000 workflows per day, and we literally have synced 4 billion files at this point. So I needed to one-up some of Sean's numbers from before, so I did that here. But yeah, this is at the outset, these are just some big numbers, but these are pretty amazing accomplishments for us to look at to see where we've come from 2016, 17, and 18. And now that the foundation of this platform is really complete, we're going to start seeing some really exponential growth in these numbers and many, many more numbers going into 2019, 2020, 2021. So it's going to get really, really exciting. So it has been a busy year, like I said. And there's a lot of features to start unveiling and walking through. Some of this are features that we released earlier in this year, but it's important to kind of look at all of these. So start off with windowing. We're going to start off with a new feature, actually. So windowing. This gives you the ability to now scope your policies by a time period. We want to let you create the most actionable alerts as possible. So if you think back, we now let you start to alert on things like user logins or failed logins and things like that. So looking at the number of failed logins for a single user, that's helpful. Being able to look at a user that is in a certain department that has failed to log in 10 times in the last 10 minutes, that's much, much more valuable information and much, much more actionable. Looking at a user that downloads 10 files and is in the sales department, and those file titles contain opportunities or accounts within the last 10 minutes, that's much, much more valuable and much, much more actionable for you to go and set a policy and make sure that automated actions are being run on those. So we're going to start rolling this out to a lot of the alerts that we offer, login alerts, file views, download alerts, and a lot more. And so you'll see this coming out. So unified search, this is a really exciting feature because we actually built this out of a hackathon internally. We did a hackathon like a month ago, and our internal team, our engineering team, basically had the direction to say you can build anything as long as it solves a customer problem or a feature request. And so one of the teams came up with this new unified search. And so we currently have a global search in the platform, lets you search across a lot of stuff, lets you search across your users, your groups, and your files, but that kind of left a little bit to be desired because there's a lot more data in the BetterCloud platform for us to expose to you. So now with this new unified search, you can now search across your users, your files, your groups, your alerts, your workflows, your connectors. It searches directly into support articles, and that's still just scratching the surface of the other stuff that we can start to add into that. And so we'll continue to add more and more stuff into this. The BetterCloud dashboard. We finally have like a true dashboard in the BetterCloud platform. This is something that we've needed for a while and was really exciting for us to release a couple months ago. And with this, you can get a 360-degree view of the key SaaS metrics across your SaaS landscape here. And so with this, you can drill into your alerts, your users, your files, your workflows, and actually get a sense of how your policies are actually running and actually uncover some blind spots that you may not have known you had. And so looking at all that data that Sean showed us before, this is a perfect place for us to continue building on this platform dashboard concept, because we have all that data that we can start exposing to you and putting into this new dashboard here. So Action Engine 2.0. Action Engine is probably one of the most powerful features within the BetterCloud platform right now. With it, you can seamlessly execute over 200 actions across all your SaaS applications from a single interface. Nobody else in the world lets you do this. So this is an amazing accomplishment in itself. And so you now see that we're adding hundreds of actions per year at this point. So we need to make sure that this feature stays powerful and that the experience continues to grow with the amount of actions that we're adding. So we added in a lot of, we really revamped this quite a bit. So there's a much more intelligent search. You don't have to know the exact keywords or titles of actions. It kind of knows what you're searching for and what action you're looking for now. There's a much better, cleaner interface that you don't have to select the right data objects and retype them in. And then we give you much better feedback on the actions that you are committing to say, is this thing going to actually run right now? Is it going to take some more time, or is it going to fail, and why? So workflow notifications. We finally have a comprehensive, yeah, claps. Love claps. Yeah, so we finally have a comprehensive workflow notifications feature. This one felt really good to release because customers started using this right away. And the main thing here is we want to let you ensure that your workflows are running successfully. So you can now go and customize notifications for any of your workflows, for any of the statuses that a workflow could get into, whether it fails, whether it completes, whether it has errors, whether it's paused, any of that. You can customize who it goes to, leverage all of our existing dynamic fields, and craft really specific messages to go to the right people when certain things happen with your policies. So last login reporting. We want to let you reclaim your unused licenses and actually save some money. We have the ability, the BetterCloud platform had to go in and integrate with the APIs in different ways to be able to actually retrieve last login information from the different applications, because everybody gives it to us just a little bit differently, of course. Nobody can do it the same. So that was cool, and so we went and did that and made sure that you had a place now to go and report on last login information across a lot of different applications. And so now you can use the BetterCloud grids to go and run reports on users that have not logged in a certain amount of days across all of these applications now, and actually go and take action, reclaim licenses, and save some money here. So we already supported this for Salesforce, G Suite, and Okta, and I'm happy to announce we now support it for Office 365, Dropbox, and Box as well. And as we continue to integrate with more applications, and claps keep me going, so keep it up. Yeah, and so as we continue to integrate with more and more applications, we'll continue to provide last login reporting across this. And something that's going to be coming soon is the ability to automate alerts on inactive users within those applications so that you don't even have to run the reports yourself in the grid. So something that is particularly important to us as a company is that, and hopefully this is obvious at these events, but we are 1,000% listening to you. Without everybody here, we wouldn't actually know what to go build. And so as a product person, that's made my job very easily, because you guys have given me a very long list of things. So I don't have to come up with anything new to try and figure out what to build. So it's a big list. But we do let you guys actually go and interact with us and vote and tell us what things should be built in what orders. And so we do this in a couple different ways. These are just two examples of feedback channels that we do this with. But looking at Altitude last year, we actually let you vote on the different security features that were most important, management features, privilege delegation, and which connectors should be built next. The other major data point that we use is our actual BetterCloud idea community. So if you go to features.bettercloud.com, there's a pretty massive community there that's constantly submitting feature requests, voting on stuff, and so that's a really, really great data point for us to go and do some analysis as well. And so that gives us plenty of feedback and tells us what to go build next. So with that, so the highest voted management feature was onboarding and offboarding at Altitude in 2017, and one of the top connectors voted at Altitude in 2017 was Okta, so we went and delivered that. And we built a really, really deep connector with Okta, and it's been one of our most successful connectors to date. We've seen a ton of adoption. We've already heard customers talk about how they're using it, triggering onboarding and offboarding policies actually from an HR system like Workday. That goes into Okta, that goes into that goes into BetterCloud, and then we take off with that. So we're also seeing customers use it in ways where you're triggering an onboarding and offboarding in another service, and then we're being the bridge in between that service and Okta as well. So we continue to see lots and lots of deep use cases here, and so we're going to continue to build more and more Okta use cases as time goes on. So activity-based alerting, this was the highest voted policy feature at Altitude in 2017, and so we also built that. So BetterCloud can now ingest, alert, and automate based on pretty much any SaaS application event from any SaaS application that we're integrated with. And so this introduces use cases like we talked about before. So the ability to alert on things like user login failures and successes and different login states, the ability to alert on file downloads and views, and much, much more. However, the reason this was such a big undertaking was not because it was because we didn't just build a point solution for these a couple of particular applications that said now you can create these alerts for these applications. We built a platform solution that said you can now plug into any SaaS application and create an alert on any event that SaaS application emits. So as you guys tell us, say, hey, there's a new event coming out of this application, I need an alert on it, we can go and build that alert very, very quickly now. So we support this currently for Okta, Dropbox, G Suite. I'm happy to announce we now support it for Box as well. We're not going to stop there. Salesforce and Microsoft are next on the list. So, thoughts? Yeah. Hopefully I didn't double click. Come on. There we go. Cool. So a little suspense for this one. So the highest voted privilege delegation feature at Altitude 2017, as you can imagine, we went and built this, was time-based roles. So we want to ensure that the right people have access to the right privileges at the right times. And there's a couple different use cases we're helping you solve here. So the first major use case, and we heard this in Sean's presentation about the over-administration that happens within your SaaS applications. We want to make sure that when you have the ability to automatically expire roles after a certain time period. So if somebody gets elevated access for a project or a contractor comes in, you can now automate to say, hey, once this user is added to this role, after a certain amount of days, make sure they're automatically removed from this role. The other way that we're helping out here with time-based roles is solving the use case for making sure that people with admin privileges are only logging in during actual working days and times. So we see this with lots of large organizations with help desks around the globe, around the world. They want to make sure that their help desk team, depending on their tier, is only actually logging in during and taking administrative actions when they're supposed to be. Not on the weekends, not on Saturday night or Sunday morning at 2 a.m., like doing stuff. So always making sure that they're logging in and taking actions, the right actions at the right times. So the top feature request in the BetterCloud community, this one's been at the top for a while, so I'm very excited that I can now go and mark this one as shipped right after this. We're going to do it right after, literally, so everyone's going to get the notifications for it, is two-factor authentication policies. Yeah. This one's been on our list for a while, and so two-factor authentication, we've heard it talked about many times already. It's standard across all applications that everybody uses now, and so there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to run reports on that and run policies on that from within BetterCloud, and so now you can. So we're going to see customers using this for standard 2FA reports, making sure people have 2FA turned on within their either IDP or their different SaaS applications, as well as automating policies to run based off of changes to 2FA statuses. So a lot of really great use cases there. And again, a really asked for feature that we're excited to deliver and give everybody access to starting now. And then lastly, so we're also, the applications that we're going to be supporting for this are actually Zendesk, Slack, Box, Okta, and G Suite are all going to be supported for this. So the top workflows feature request in the BetterCloud community, so the workflow specific one, this was a pretty massive feature and one of the biggest features that we've been working on this year. And I'm excited to announce On-Demand Workflows is now in the product for everybody to start using now. So yeah, on-demand workflows. So why wait for a trigger? I think everybody in this room that's used workflows has probably come into the situation where they've sat there and said, I've made a group change or an OU change or some change within some application, and I'm waiting for this to run this workflow, but I need this to run right now. You no longer have to wait for a trigger. You can take any of your onboarding, offboarding policies, any of your security remediation policies, anything at all. You can select it, run it on a user, group, file at that time. You don't have to wait anymore. So that's really exciting. But this is a particularly powerful feature because not only can you use your standard policies that you're automating in an on-demand way, you can also now use this to build actual, like macro actions. So, if you want to have a massive reset password action, you now have an on-demand workflow that can quickly reset passwords across every application. You now have an on-demand workflow that you can set up that you can put all of the deactivate user actions in one workflow, run that from right there, right at that time. No more waiting. So this is a really exciting feature, and I think this is one of the more powerful things we've released in a long time. So we're excited for everybody to get their hands on it, start using it today. So, last but not least, so we've been talking about BetterCloud as a platform a lot now, and it is a true platform. But it'd be tough for us to really say that this was a real platform if we were limited to only using BetterCloud with the specific applications that we've built a native integration with, and so you couldn't really call it a platform then. So with that, I gave a big presentation here. There's a lot of slides and a lot of still images, and one thing that's really important is that everything that we're presenting here is available to start using in some way now. We're not just presenting things that are still in development or that are coming out in a month or 2 months. All these things you can open up your laptop and start using now. And so these slides don't really do it justice. A lot of features. Yeah, so it kind of sounds silly to say this, but like the sky really is the limit. I could not go an entire presentation without a sky or cloud or altitude joke. So here it is, the sky's the limit. At first, when I put this in the presentation, I was like, this is kind of crazy to say, but the possibilities here really are endless now. If you look at where we are now, how much we've accomplished over the last 3 years, and where we're going to be in the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years, it is really amazing to think about. It's just kind of crazy to think about. So I am incredibly excited about where we're going, and I really hope you are too. So thank you.